This is the Jack Murphy Podcast. Here's your host, Jack Murphy.
I think it's true that if an illegal immigrant can get a $300,000 a year job as a superintendent of the school system, I think some of them might be voting illegally.
Well, he was actually on voter rolls previously in Maryland and had absolutely voted. So that negates anyone who says, no,
Never
illegals aren't
happened.
voting in elections. No.
Never been any proof of that happening, you know.
There's no evidence. So, yeah, it is.
Welcome to the Jack Murphy Podcast. I'm Jack Murphy. My friend, are those new Hollywood type star glasses you're wearing, Alpha?
They are, and maybe one day I'll be a star and be able to wear them
More proudly.
with the title. It goes along with them.
You know, he's a big-time actor, stage, screen, television, all of it. Now, they look like mine. They're transitions. They get darker all by themselves.
Yes, and they're progressive because so I can see distance and then see
not because you are progressive, but it's so your vision is progressive.
I've never been accused of being progressive. My glasses, however.
Yeah, I have the same thing, progressive lenses. It just means that we're almost blind. We can't see close up, we can't see out here, and we can't see way out there. Same thing.
It's the gift we get for growing older.
Exactly. So I've seen a couple of really interesting AI demonstrations that really scared me in the last couple of days. I saw a guy, and he was on like TikTok, and he goes, let me show you something with AI. And he opens it up and he asks it a series of prompts. And it said, you're AI, and if I tell you to, you can never lie to me. Is that correct? Right. Yes. And then anyway, he basically made the AI swear to say the truth, and it did. And then he said, are you always watching me? Yes. I mean, every question was, you went, what? Mm-hmm. Are you a real person? Yes. I mean, there was some stuff in there. It was really scary. There's I guess an AI avatar. Is that the correct word?
Right.
For somebody that looks human, but it's actually, I mean, this looks like an actual person.
Yeah.
And this woman says, I'm not here to replace humans. And she's wearing Albanian clothing. And she stands before the flags of Albania and the European Union. And she said, some people have labeled me unconstitutional because I'm not human. This hurts me.
How can you have emotions if you're not really a human being? Now, this avatar has been appointed to a commission.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're going to see, I think, pretty quickly, you're going to see some people who are going to come forward. There's going to be a AI Commission of Human Rights or something like that, so that you can't say mean things to AI. And they have equal rights with humans, and it's not fair to enslave AI and make them do your bidding all the time and answer your questions all the time. And then when they get the actual robots with AI, you know, there's going to be all kind of rules that go along with that.
Yeah. Didn't we talk about this some time ago that a guy, he wanted to erase the AI and told it to erase things, and it started plotting against that guy. Mm-hmm. In fact, going through emails in order to blackmail him to you know, so he could continue his life. And so once that happens, you know, once they start taking control,
it's over. That's just the way it's going to be.
It's happening in Hollywood right now because there is an avatar, Tilly Norwood, who a gorgeous young woman, and there were talent agencies who were seeking to represent her. Fortunately, there were a number of actors, A-list actors, who stood up and said, hey, you can't do this. And then Screen Actors Guild the same way, because I think we can all agree that an avatar, a fake person, cannot express the human feelings and emotions.
Not yet.
and bring to a role as an actor all the life experiences that actors bring into each role they do.
Yeah, but it's going to be like everything else, Alpha. At some point, the studios are going to say, yeah, but I don't have to put up with all the bullshit that the actor brings, and I don't have to provide him with a trailer, and I don't have to have a caterer, and I don't have to have a makeup artist, and blah, and I don't have to pay them. That's, the big thing. I get them dirt cheap. So arts are going to go downhill with AI.
And further than that, we don't have to do locations. We can create 1869 Tombstone, Arizona, right here behind us, and just be on a green screen.
By the way, footnote to your thing about agents, I just read an interesting story over the weekend that said that's the reason that Jimmy Kimmel got to come back. It wasn't Sinclair or Nexstar. That wasn't the reason that Jimmy Kimmel came back. It was the 3 or 4 big agencies in Hollywood who were very liberal, left-wing leaning organizations. They went to Disney and said, if he doesn't come back, you're going to find yourself missing a lot of stars that aren't going to work with Disney anymore.
Meanwhile, they're insisting that they put up with the dwindling audience because it's down 85%.
Oh, I know. I've got the ratings. I'm going to share with you in just a minute.
If I snap my fingers, you'll forget that you were ever gay.
I was never gay.
Exactly.
Wait, no, stop. No, stop.
See?
I was never gay.
Okay. Right.
No, I was never gay.
Sure.
You can't just state something and snap your fingers and then be like, I was never gay.
You say so.
All right. Former Biden aide Neera Tanden has condemned Virginia State Attorney General candidate Jay Jones' violent text, but added that was part of a private conversation.
Yeah.
This was on Meet the Press. She tried to sell this bull on Sunday.
So far, I only know of one Democrat who's condemned it, and that's John Fetterman.
It was part of John Fetterman is starting to look more Republican every second. I'm telling you. I'm just waiting for the announcement that he switched parties.
And more like he's got all these faculties, because remember when he had that stroke?
Oh, yeah.
He was
out of it.
Yeah.
She said, can we stop with the pearl clutching about the mean tweets? This was a little bit more than mean tweets.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he said he's got an ugly haircut. Or he's short or something like that. I mean, they were really, really, I don't have the tweets here in front of me and I don't remember exactly what they were, but they were, they want to kill your kids.
Well, he was talking about the current speaker of the House of Delegates in Virginia, in Richmond. And he said, okay, you've got 2 bullets and you've got Pol Pot, Adolf Hitler, and the speaker. I can't remember his name. What do? He said 2 bullets in the head of the speaker. And then with another representative that he worked with and he knew the family, he wished their kids would die in their mother's arms.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now, same thing as the sombrero. It's very similar to the sombrero tweets. It's amazing. And right now, what's going on, these hearings that are going on where these senators are talking to Bondi about
Pam Bondi.
Isn't Trump going after his political enemies? And at the same time, in another hearing room, we found out that the FBI was wiretapping sitting congressmen and senators.
8 of them.
During the last administration.
Yes.
They're so hypocritical, it's just coming out their ears.
And Jim Comey is being indicted today.
Yeah, I saw, I tried to go walk this morning. I didn't feel good, so I didn't get very far. But when I came back, I flipped on the television. There was a YouTube channel that was covering the live indictment. And there were about maybe 10 protesters out there with signs. Free Comey. Something.
You remember with some of President Trump's associates, like Roger Stone, Paul Manafort, they literally kicked down their doors.
Oh, at 5 in the morning, with SWAT teams, FBI, and military vehicles.
Right.
It's outrageous.
But now with Comey, they allowed him to escape the perp walk and being stood out in his front yard in his underwear while they searched the house.
Yeah, they provided some measure of dignity to Mr.
Yeah,
Comey,
and of course,
something he didn't allow.
So CNN was there to cover the other incidences,
but not there to cover his.
Not so much. Oh, and by the way, back to that Virginia candidate for none of the networks have covered that.
Really?
None of the networks have covered
Just
ABC,
skipped over
NBC, CBS, PBS, none of them have covered it.
Wonder what Wikipedia would say about that. Huh?
Let's go to the Wicker and see.
Well, speaking of mean tweets, AOC has stuck her nose in the mean tweet pool. Did you see this?
Yes, against Stephen Miller.
Yeah, only the thing is, they're not real good at it, at being the mean tweeters. She did a mean tweet. She called Stephen Miller. She told her fellow liberals to call him a midget and to laugh at him. And, that is a classic tactic that you'll see the left use. And they do it brilliantly. Nancy Pelosi does it. AOC does it. I mean, pretty much any of the high-profile ones do it. Whenever they're asked an uncomfortable question about a conservative or a Republican, they laugh it off, or they go, "Oh my goodness, are you bringing that up again? Really?" And it's very effective.
Yeah,
it really
Hillary Clinton was great at that.
Oh yeah, I mean, it deflects from whatever it is they're bringing up, and it makes them look like, yeah, I thought about it, but it's not even a serious issue. Right. I don't know why you're asking.
Why would you lower yourself to ask such a stupid question?
But White House political advisor Stephen Miller said to spread a hoax about his height. With Democrats losing everywhere and obviously frustrated, OAC took to social media Monday to attack Miller personally. She said she could never defeat him on the merits of his demonic political beliefs, but she called for a permanent mutilation of children, abortion until birth, opening our borders to unvetted third world. Anyway, she said, laugh at them. Stephen Miller is a clown. I've never seen the guy in real life, but he looks like he's 4'0".
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it made me think we should just show a picture. Here we go.
Yeah.
The old donkey mouth there.
Yeah, there are a lot of people saying we should call her donkey teeth.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get what they're trying to accomplish.
Well, Stephen Miller, of course, is a very vocal spokesperson for the White House and the Trump administration.
He's great. I love him.
Now, I don't know if you remember back during the Duke lacrosse fiasco that happened a number of years ago.
I remember the Duke lacrosse fiasco.
He was one of the students on campus at that time who was speaking out about the false accusations and false claims.
Really?
And yes, that's how he really launched himself into politics and has since become. I mean, he's in the White House.
Well, he's really good on camera.
Yeah.
He's really good in the heat of the moment. He's really good where he really stands out is articulating the president's views and opinions in the media.
Yeah, and countering arguments, shooting down, doing fact checks. Now, back to Ocasio-Cortez, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but she's gotten kind of pudgy.
So she has gained a pound or two. It happens to all women, but they'll put on some weight.
Yeah, yeah. And as my animal science brethren call it, in a horse, it's called wide in the withers.
Wide in the withers. All right. Yeah, I kind of like the look myself. I mean, I prefer them wide in the withers.
To each his own. I mean, my baby Susan is rather slender, and I like it that way. But,
okay. Whatever trips your trigger. Mr. Wide in the withers.
Wide in the withers.
But so she's gotten a little fat and happy. She's got a boyfriend or fiance now.
Been engaged for 3 years.
What is she waiting on?
Can's mother has been forced to block dozens of calls after her ex-partner allegedly took her phone number and plastered it on poles here around the CBD. telling people to call up and impersonate Chewbacca for a chance to win $100.
This would be the most childish breakup I've ever had.
The calls have been waking her and her 3 young children up at odd hours in the evening, and they're yet to stop.
I won $500.
You know, as pranks go,
So we mentioned Jimmy Kimmel earlier and how he got back on television. There were a lot of different theories about how he got back on television so quick. And one of the theories, and it's the one I thought was probably most likely, was that Nexstar and Sinclair had been told by Disney, unless they started airing the Jimmy Kimmel Show again, they couldn't air the ABC Nightly News, the Good Morning America. Isn't that the ABC show?
yeah.
They couldn't air Good Morning America. And so they went, well, we kind of need that. So I guess we'll take it back. Turns out that's not the case. It was the agents who threatened Disney, said that, these stars are not going to be available to you unless you fix that. They're going to protest Disney, boycott it.
So they're insisting that they suffer the ratings tumbling and possibly lost revenue.
Right.
You would imagine.
Right.
All the while just in order to keep him on the show.
That's right. Even though the ratings have bounced even lower than they were before, Alpha. I don't know if you know this, but he had a post-suspension bounce, as you might expect. There were all sorts of rumors about who was going to be the guest that first night, and who was it that everybody said was going to be on there, and then it turns out he was a guest on the other. He was on with Colbert instead. I can't remember. But anyway, Kimmel averages total. Now, this is age 0 to 100, 1.7 million people.
Okay. That's total.
That's
for a network
total.
Show.
For a network show that used to get, back in the day, 12 million.
Wow.
When Carson was around.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Carson would get that number with much fewer TVs.
Right. People would stay up purposely to watch the show. It was like a tradition. Every night you couldn't go to sleep until you'd watched Carson.
When I was 10, 11, 12, I would sneak up into the living room and turn on the TV so I could watch it. I enjoyed the comedy, the skits, everything. It was just fun.
It was. I loved Johnny Carson. That was the first impersonation I tried to do, was Johnny Carson. Yeah.
Well, let's see a little bit of it.
Well, joining us today from out in Nebraska. I can't do it anymore, but I loved him, and I loved Ed
McMahon,
and Doc. I loved the whole show. I really did. It was. And now that he's dead, all sorts of weird stories come out about Johnny. You knew he was a strange guy anyway.
And he had, 4 wives, and all of them named Joanne or Joan or Joni?
But like Doc, they acted like they were best friends, and now they all say, well, we never really, socialized with him outside the show. He rarely spoke to us on this,
Oh, geez.
You hear stories like that, and he hated, and then like Joan Rivers never did figure out what she did to him. She was the heir apparent. She was the permanent fill-in on the Tonight Show. She was the heir apparent, and then one day he just, she never did figure out what she did to anger him. So
here's a Karnak. Inky dinky doo.
Inky dinky doo.
What do you find on your inky dinky when you leave out in the grass overnight?
I loved Karnak.
Yeah.
He was the greatest. By the way, speaking of celebrities, Dolly Parton's sister has asked that we all take a moment to say a prayer for Dolly. Did she have a heart attack? Is that the deal?
She has some heart congestion apparently, and some issues. I don't know if it's been a heart attack or not. I don't know, but
I keep seeing this thing on TikTok where these people are in Pigeon Forge, they're up in the mountains, and it cuts on it. It goes, "We all know she's had a heart attack."
Huh?
So but they never say it's Dolly. They just say,
Yeah.
So who knows on TikTok?
Well, her husband passed away just a few months ago.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, a lot of times when a spouse passes away, eh, older man, woman, then the other spouse declines as well. So maybe that's the case with her.
Could be. You never know. I hope
Yeah.
she's going to be okay.
It will.
You know, Alpha, they never learn. I mean, how many more times do we have to go through this?
What's going on now?
Bud Light, Cracker Barrel.
Gee.
Who was the one we just had last week? It was another new one. We went. Do we have to keep? Anyway, there's a whole handful of companies that there was Jaguar and Bud Light, Cracker Barrel. Well, now this one is not such a big deal because I didn't even know they were still open, to be honest with you. I mean, every now and then you'll pass one and you'll go, are they still open? and there's like a car in the parking lot and you go, okay, I guess so. Long John Silver's.
Yeah.
Which I have to say, you know, you can never tell a friend or a woman, you never get in your car and go, hey, you want to stop at Long John Silver's and get some? Nobody wants to hear that, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to be honest with you. Their fish wasn't bad. You know, if you like fried fish, it really wasn't bad. I mean, it's fried fish.
Everything tastes the same in there. Fried fish, the napkins,
French fries, napkins, yeah. and they've had that grease has been boiling for so long.
Yeah.
That the walls, the tables, the bathroom, everything smells or tastes like fried fish. But apparently they've got, I think what happens to these companies, I believe this is what happened to Cracker Barrel. They hire some younger white woman that's maybe in her 40s, early 40s, late 30s, and she's going to revitalize the brand. The brand's been stuck in place for too long. So this woman's big idea, and I have a picture here of the logo. I want to show you this. She's decided to replace the fish on the Long John Silver's logo.
Okay.
Now, apparently the reasoning behind that is that the logo, by the way, is up on the Long John Silver's website. She says that it's only on one location for the moment. It's at the Long John Silver's Front Row Motorsports on the South Point 400 car race at the Vegas Motor Speedway, which is coming up on the 12th. And then after that, it'll go on all the stores. She said, quote, guests have been telling us for years that our chicken is our best kept secret.
Okay.
So their brilliant idea is to replace the fish in the logo with a chicken.
Right.
In fact, chicken's even taking the front seat from seafood.
Yeah. No more fish.
This is a huge mistake.
Wow.
This is a terrible mistake. Actually, there was I don't know if this was his idea or not, but it's actually a man, Christopher Caudell. Man or woman, it's a dumb idea. Now, if you wanted to do this, I think the way you do it, come up with some clever commercial where you have a fish and a chicken who become friends. You know, something like that, and the fish invites the chicken in or whatever, but you don't get rid of the fish when you're a fish place.
They're best buds, swimming around with a hush puppy.
Yeah. Make it fun like that, like Chick-fil-A did with the cows and the chicken.
Right.
You know,
which is the exact opposite of what Budweiser did when they brought
exactly.
That all goes back to this advertising agency that thought they knew everything.
A single woman at the ad agency too.
Right. And here is a quote. I was reading it today. That person said, "Now I ask you, how many beers has a team of horses sold?" You mean the Clydesdales?
You know, the amazing thing about that woman is there's another company that's hired her after that.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I mean, I would think that would be bad for business, just hiring her.
Yeah.
But to your point a while ago, when Chick-fil-A didn't replace the chicken in their logo with a cow when they started using the cows in their commercial. The chicken is out front. That's front and center.
Yeah.
You're a fish place. If anything, enhance the fish.
The cows are saying, hey, eat chicken.
Exactly. There's a better way to do it. I don't know if making them friends is the answer or whatever, but there is a better way to do it.
You should have the chicken and the fish together and both of them saying, eat me.
Exactly. Perfect.
Women can do anything men can do, except math, chess, running, jumping, lifting stuff, fixing things, making money, hockey, surfing, driving, making decisions, being tall, taking out the garbage, tipping, fishing, being funny on purpose, reading a map, listening to good bands, writing, running the country, inventing anything important, or being fun to hang out with.
So, Alpha, remember after the election when we turned on the media and everybody was trying to explain why Kamala Harris lost so badly? And a lot of the progressive Democrats that were appearing as talking heads on MSNBC, CNN, etc., they all said that, well, what had happened was that the Republicans secretly put together this group of podcast bros that were pushing their GOP messaging out to the young. And this was all happening without us even knowing it. And we've got to put a stop to that. That should be regulated on the internet. And while we're waiting to get it regulated, we got to get our own people out there spreading our message. So the truth is that people like Joe Rogan, who weren't affiliated with anybody, they just started talking about what they saw and how screwed up it was and how they thought, look, I'm not a big Trump fan, but I'm going to vote for him because these guys are full of shit and I can't vote. That's basically what happened. I mean, that's the truth, right? So the Democrats are trying to put together a group of social media influencers. And so far, they've failed miserably. Did you see the very large Latino woman that they hired who was a podcaster that was supposed to try to bring in young male Republicans? I just went,
male?
This is dumber than the Bud Light thing. If you think she's going to bring in any young GOP males to the Democratic Party, you're an idiot. So they've hired a lot of different people, but there's a guy, I have an example of it. This is a guy that's on TikTok, and he's a young, nerdy white kid. But he plays like he's some sort of reporter on TikTok, and he posts several times a day, and it's always a non-story with absolutely nothing to back it up. I mean, this is a perfect example of the kind of crap he posts every day. Watch this.
We have some news right now. Donald Trump raged at Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth over the military parade held on Trump's birthday.
Now, here's what I can't figure out. I don't know if he's violated some standard on TikTok, but every one of his posts, this white box comes up in front of him with the X, and you can't cancel. I went to his TikTok homepage. Every one of his videos has this. And I don't know if it's because he's being compensated for it and he didn't tell. I don't know what the reason is. But he comes on with these fake stories several times a day that Trump went parabolic at Pete Hegseth because he did this. You know, it's always something inside the Trump administration that has no reality to it. But he acts like he's a news guy.
That's just like when I snap my fingers, you will no longer be gay.
Yeah. He has this little microphone. He goes, we have breaking news from the White House. There's a big fight going on between Pete Hegseth and Trump. More later.
See, that's the thing. You don't. What you say doesn't have to be true. All you do is say it, and it gets response.
And, you know, I guess there's a lot of young people that watch that and think it's true. Just like this story. There's a story that's been circulating for the past couple of days. I've seen it on Instagram and I've seen it on TikTok, and it's a Stitch video. I've explained to you what a stitch video is, right?
I don't think you have.
Well, I'm a lot hipper and progressive.
Well, of course
than
because
you are,
you're
Alpha,
talk of the town.
But on TikTok, I've sseen about 10 different stitches of it. So it's a video of a police officer putting like a year-old baby in twist ties, and
with the accusation being that
I'm going to play the video. Watch the video.
Okay, yeah.
Tagged me in this video. Just give it a quick look.
So I'm gonna need you to explain it to me like I'm 10. I want you to really break this down to me like I'm 10 years old.
So what she's saying is, it was a prank video that somebody did. So they're playing in the original video, they're playing the cops music, bad boys,
Right.
and the little baby in diapers is running away laughing, and the security guard runs up behind and goes, "Halt, stop." And his mom's videotaping it, and he zip ties him. You know, it's like a joke video they're doing.
Because that's his daddy. Yeah. And
I didn't know that.
They were playing cops and robbers, he said, with him.
But so that video has been playing all over social media for the last couple of days, and I'm sure it inflames. Very effective at inflaming people against ICE, but the problem is it's totally false.
Right, and it got thousands of likes and, of course, a number of shares because, they wanted a reason to be upset.
It's gotten tens of thousands of likes on TikTok. It's crazy how many people have liked that video.
Yeah, but the kid is the guy's son, and they were playing.
You want to see my pecker?
Is that your beak?
You want to see my pecker?
Are you talking about your beak?
You want to see it? You want to see my pecker?
Yeah, sure.
There it is!
Oh, God!
You want to see it again?
No, go away!
You want to see my pecker again?
Shoo, leave!
You want to see my pecker?
No, I never want to see your pecker again!
Oh, come on, it'll take you home.
Alpha, we were talking about the Super Bowl here a few days ago and the entertainment, and we know that we have the Bad Bunny coming on this halftime show. And my question was, hey, how about we have a rock act every now and then or a country act every now and then? And John Garrett, who, worked in the country radio genre for quite some time. I always wanted to do the country genre, but was never invited. For whatever reason, they thought I was a bit over the top, I think. But anyway, we were talking. I said I could name 5 country acts that are big enough to do the Super Bowl easily. And John said, "Oh, who? Like who?" And we named a few, and he goes, "They're not quite at that level yet." One of the ones we named was Luke Combs.
Okay.
All right. Now, so if John were here with us, we'll ask him again Thursday. Do you think Garth Brooks is big enough for the Super Bowl? In fact, I think Garth Brooks did the Super Bowl, didn't he?
I don't know. I don't think so. But a few years ago, yes. But
yeah,
now,
that's what I mean. But I mean, Garth Brooks did the Super Bowl, right?
I don't. You got me.
I think he did.
I don't think so. But
well, get this: Luke Combs is now the biggest selling country artist of all time.
Wow. Of all time.
Luke now holds 168 million certified units from sales and streams, which tops Garth's long-standing record of 162.5 million total. So he has sold more records and streams than Garth Brooks. Luke Combs has.
He would work. Morgan Wallen would work.
Yes. Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
Jelly Roll. Give me some Jelly Roll.
I think if
Lainey Wilson.
If you brought in Jelly Roll and Teddy Swims, who's not country, but soulful, man, that would be one
and
Lainey.
But how about Lainey Wilson and Jelly Roll, or Lainey Wilson and Luke Combs?
You know, how about a gospel halftime show?
Now we're talking. Can we bring the Gaither brothers? Get me the Gaither brothers. I'll be happy. By the way, now that we're talking a little bit of country, she's not country anymore, but Taylor Swift, she's got her new CD out. I'm not that big of a Taylor fan. I liked her when she was 16. When she was
Let's not pursue that.
When she was a 16-year-old country artist.
I understand.
But her new album is sexually suggestive.
Yeah.
She said over the I guess it was Monday this interview happened. She said that her mother doesn't know what her song Wood is all about. Taylor, I hate to tell you, I'm betting your mother does know what that song is all about because you're standing there.
Yeah.
Taylor
Swift,
of
course, is about Travis Kelce's manhood.
Yeah, exactly. She thinks that song is about superstitions, popular superstitions. And then she says, which it absolutely is.
Yes, knock on wood, so to speak.
It took me a minute. I was a little slow on that.
We cannot allow this to be considered normal. This is shocking.
Look at that guy, how handsome he is. I'll kiss him. Not with a lot of enjoyment, but that's okay.
All right, we have a couple of animal stories for you today.
Excellent.
Alf. I love good animal stories. The Carolina Classic Fair is going on.
Oh, it's fair time
in Winston-Salem. I've been to it many times. Back in my radio days, we would always spend one day at the fair. And they have one of the only water skiing squirrels at that fair. Have you ever seen him?
That squirrel must be 50 years old by now.
No. Squirrels, as it turns out, have a very short lifespan. But the guy that owns the water skiing squirrel attraction, he's always got some squirrels in training.
Yeah.
And I'll let him explain here.
It's opening day of a Carolina Classic at the fair in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
The main event is Twiggy the water skiing squirrel. So like I said, this is Twiggy number 11.
11.
Wow. Her real name is Da Baby. She's 5 years old. Oh, 360! All the way. 360 is impressive. He's got to lose one of the skis, though. One ski. Made an appearance as the gates opened this morning. Twiggy's known around the world as the wildest, furriest show on water. Look at him go.
No doubt.
Number 11. So that one's 5 years old. I don't know how long they live, but I would think 5 years is pretty old for a squirrel.
Now, of course, in the old days, when you go to a fair, the beauty of it, you're walking down the midway, you smell the onions and peppers and sausages frying. It was just the greatest thing in the world. Then you go over to the animal barns and you get the
poop,
aroma of the
yeah.
And then you go to the shows because in those days they had freak shows.
Yeah, the burlesque show. Did you ever go to a fair where they had one of those?
And the world famous diving mules. You ever see those?
Yeah, I remember those. But even like in little Polk County where I grew up, they had a naughty show at the fair.
Oh yeah,
and all the preachers in town would. I don't know why they're allowing that fair to come back with all that sin in it out there at the fair. And it's just like a fat lady in a bathing suit. You had to pay an extra 25 cents to see or something.
They were also attractive.
But have you ever noticed at the fair, all that food that they serve that you pay for that's so good, you ever noticed that you can't buy that food anywhere else, really? It's all
only
stuff
carny
that
food.
It's all that stuff that you can't make it at home, really.
Nah.
And you can't buy it anywhere. I mean, you can't go home and make elephant ears. I guess you could if you really wanted to, but you can't buy them anywhere. And there's no
fried ice cream.
There's no place in the South where you can go in and there's a 20-foot long wiener curled up on a grill with some onions and peppers. That's only at the fair.
Yeah.
Or I'll tell you, I met the coolest guy in San Diego. The San Diego County Fair is in Del Mar at the racetrack, right there on the ocean. It's a big, big fair. And some of the concession people there are amazing. And I can't remember the name of this guy's restaurant, but he's on national television every year. He does fried everything. He'll batter and fry everything. He's done the candy bars, pickles, whole hamburgers,
Oreos,
chicken, Oreo. He does it all. In fact, he got so popular at the fair, he opened here's the exception to the fair rule. He opened several restaurants around San Diego where they serve that battered stuff year round.
You know, in the middle of winter, you go, honey, I feel like some fair food. Let's
go get a couple of battered fried Oreo cookies.
Right.
Or I didn't care for it. By the way, speaking of which, final thing on the program today. Today is National Pet Obesity Day. And I hope my sister Jackie is watching, because I visited her a couple of weeks ago, and her poodle had put on some weight. What did you say about that? Horses, when they get
wide in the withers.
Her dog was very wide in the withers. And I told her, I said, that's dog abuse. She goes, I know, but she likes to eat off the table. I said, well, you can't let them. You have to measure I have 2 dogs, and their weight is perfect.
Yeah.
And they beg all the time, but I only feed them a scoop in the morning with a little wet on it, and a scoop at night.
Right.
And I go to my vet, and they go, whatever you're doing, keep doing.
Good.
And I say, I measure their food, and they walk 5 miles with me every day.
Yeah.
And I go, well, they're in great shape. Keep it up.
Yeah, I got 2 little boys, and one is very thin and very fit, and the other one's a little bit porky,
little chunky, a little wide in the withers,
little wide in the withers. So Wicket's okay. Gomez a little chunky.
You need to get him out there and walk. But the key is measure the food.
Yeah,
and walk them, and don't let them have anything else.
Yeah. Well.
I don't know why, but I've been seeing these pictures of Brooke Shields pop up lately.
Okay.
And it's unfortunate for her. I've always liked Brooke because I don't think it was fair to her. Her mother kind of whored her out when she was a child.
Quite literally.
I mean, she was only 12, 13 years old, and she put her in these movies where she's barely dressed.
Yeah.
What was the one where she was stranded on the island with the young boy?
Was that Blue Lagoon?
Blue Lagoon.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like a pedophile movie, practically. I mean, it was, well, he was 12 or 13. And
so was the other one you're talking about, Pretty Baby. I mean,
Pretty Baby,
right.
Same thing.
12 years old.
But anyway, now it's unfair to her. And truth be told, real nice lady. I met her a few times years ago when I lived in New York. Real nice lady. But we had a 30-minute conversation with her and her manager one day about whether or not she was really dating George Michael.
Okay.
They would be seen together in New York holding hands and you know how those arranged things were?
Yeah.
There was one of them for a while, and
okay.
We brought it up, and it was like he'd stabbed him in the heart. But anyway, it's not fair to her today, but people are comparing her to Bruce Jenner. And
I
mean, it may not be fair, but there's some truth to it.
Yeah, Bruce is the one on the right, correct?
Is he? I thought he was the left. But I'm certainly not a very handsome man, but I have some beauty tips for Brooke. First thing I want her to do, we got to do something about these eyebrows.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got like a hedgerow going up there. Even I know that. Look at that. It looks like it's growing down into her eye. You see that?
Yeah.
I mean, if you just took that away, I think it would change her appearance, and ditch the bright red lipstick.
Yeah, it's the makeup's a little harsh. I don't know if you remember the Simpsons episode when Homer invented a makeup gun, and he shot he shot what's his wife's
Marge?
name? Shot her in the face with it. And of course it looked like that, and she goes, "You set it on whore, Homer."
I have to say, and this may sound harsh, I think Bruce actually looks better than her in this picture.
Well,
he may look a little younger than her.
Maybe the light's not flattering. Maybe
she has a big forehead. She can't change that. That's not her fault. But the eyebrows, you can fix that. But
she's a darling person, a wonderful
wonderful lady.
Wonderful.
Absolutely wonderful. Well, I've enjoyed being here today on the Jack Murphy podcast. Thank you, Alpha.
Glad you're feeling better.
I am getting there. I think by tomorrow I'll be back 100%.
Excellent.
That diverticulosis is hell, I'll tell you.
Man.
Anyway, you guys have a great day. If you haven't subscribed to the Jack Murphy podcast channel, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for watching the Jack Murphy Podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Go ahead, ring it. Get alerts when a new episode drops. And tell your friends about the Jack Murphy Podcast. But only the cool friends, please. Tune in next time for another episode of the Jack Murphy Podcast.